Steve Simmons and Cole here at Grey Cup 103 in Winnipeg. And every Grey Cup week, it seems, starts the same way, Cam, with a coach's press conference on the morning of the first day. We saw it this morning with Chris Jones and Rick Campbell.
You know, and if you were not of the seeing persuasion and just could hear, all you'd hear is Hugh Campbell's voice coming out of Rick's mouth, because it's an incredibly scary similarity between this guy and his father. But I found it to be a very interesting hour or so we spent with these two guys.
Strange thing from my perspective, because you look at it as a father. If it was my son coaching in his first Grey Cup, you couldn't have kept me from the game no matter what. Hugh Campbell, from what I understand, isn't necessarily coming to the game, hasn't really been in much contact with his son. It's like, I did what I did, you now do what you do.
I think that's intentional on Hugh's part. I think he knows this is his son's show, and if he were to show up here, a lot of the stories would just be about Hugh, and he doesn't want that. He's almost a recluse anyway, but I'm sure that that's part of his deal. And
when you look back, you go back to a guy that 6 years with the Edmonton Eskimos, 5 Grey Cup championships, 1 year in the Grey Cup, like one of the most remarkable runs of any coach in history. And my understanding is that when Rick Campbell wanted to start his coaching career, Hugh didn't want him in Edmonton.
No, I think Hugh was determined that he would not be saddled with that whole only got the job because he's Huey's son deal. And I think Rick has done a remarkable job of working his way up from the very depths of coaching depth chart, if you can, to head coach, and doing a heck of a job and getting his team to a championship game, which if it's out there, I don't know of it, any other Hall of Fame coach whose offspring has ever done this. Yeah,
and he's probably going to win the Coach of the Year later in the week. Whether he wins the Grey Cup is a whole nother question. From Winnipeg, for Cole, I'm Steve Simmons at the 103rd Grey Cup.